And the elders were mentors. Not so much anymore because there are not as many of them around, unfortunately. They passed on or they've left the department, moved on and retired. But it's the gender gap, the later guys that are coming into that elder state that have to really carry the ball and try and push tradition. We said it before, tradition is stopped by progress. You know, you got 100 years of tradition stopped by progress. Progress is, I call it the kids coming out at school now, we make them book savvy. We give them a certificate. I got Fire 1, I'm ready to be chief. You know, well, you know, you're not. You know, windshield time is everything.
Yeah.
I learn every call I go on, and I've been on chief 18 years. I learn on every call. Because if I don't, then I'm not doing my job. That's the bottom line. So.
Well said, Chief. Well said. And, you know, we've hit on many occasions on all of our platforms these very issues. And, you know, this becomes to the forefront every time we talk about it. And you're absolutely right. You know, book smart's great. And there's no doubt we push college, we push that type of further education just in society and so on. So, but what's being lost, and it's not just in the fire service, but it's everywhere, is ask a 16-year-old kid to cut his lawn. You know, tell him that there's a thing called mix, right? It's not just gasoline, right? I mean, there's a mix and so on. And it's those simple things. But what happens is I think that all translates to the firehouse, where now more than ever, I think what we as senior guys and the more senior guys in the firehouse, we have to understand that working with this newer generation requires us to probably be more patient and to understand that we have to really go back and teach those things that might have years ago been expected of you. And I think there's some disconnect there. I think there's some lack of patience on the older members' part.
That's the key word.
And I think the newer generation maybe has a lack of patience on their part. And we have to find that common ground. And you know, I just a couple things you hit on before. I really enjoyed hearing, you know, that you learn on every call. And I think I always did this with one or two of the new kids in my firehouse. Every time we get off the rig, I go, "What'd you learn? What'd you learn?" I just throw it out at them, right? And then what's cool is over time they get off the rig and they say, "Hey Jay, you know what I just learned tonight?" I'm like, "What'd you learn?" You know, and that to me is very cool. You know, because it's stuck with them, and then they're keeping their eyes open and head on a swivel and so on. But
I beg my officers to think outside the box every call they go on. Think outside the box, because you don't know what's in the box and you want to know what's around it.
Yeah.
You know, you go to a minor fire, supposedly make sure that's a really minor fire. Look further.
Yeah.
You know, deliver the apparatus in a safe location. Put them in different locations. How do you want them coming in? You know, start to think outside that box. And we have quite a few officers in the department that actually do that. And that, to me, is something we're teaching is working. You know, we got to keep instilling that. But for the young kids, it's teaching tradition with pride. And if you teach them pride, tradition follows. It's kind of, but it's hard. And you're right. Patience is a virtue, and it's hard. These kids come out of fire school and they're ready to drive the Chief's car.
Yep.
And you know, you trim them back a little bit, and you make them understand, and you sit and talk with them. And if you're patient, they learn. They become better firefighters, or they move on, which ultimately may be the best way to have it. But you know, we hate to invest in guys that aren't, or guys or gals that are only going to do the job well. And quite frankly, our female firefighters are fantastic.
Awesome.
I motor vehicle accident. I love to have a female in the back of the car, you know, to help the victim.
I get it.
But yeah, it's great because their voice is a lot softer than the guys is. They're a lot calmer. It works pretty well.
Hey everybody, it's Rob Ridley from National Fire Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Catch up with us on social media. We got
SoundCloud, National Fire Radio, YouTube, National Fire Radio, Instagram, National Fire Radio, and Facebook, National Fire Radio. Guys, check us out. Take care. Be safe.
Let's do it.
From the pain.